Hi, welcome to Common Cast.
Hello.
I'm A host, Juni A. Jones.
And I'm B host, Big Brain Danklin.
And we are playing Mario Kart Double Dash.
Favorite game of mine. Love this game. Do you want to? All right, we'll figure out when we get there.
Yeah.
Would you like to play one player, or do you want to play
Let's do two players.
against it? Oh, I mean, would you like to
Let's
play?
play it together, so that way I
Together,
don't have to
yeah.
think very much.
Oh, okay. You want me to drive?
Yeah, you drive.
We'll go 50 so we can think about driving. All right, you pick your guy.
I'm gonna pick a gal, thank you.
All right then. I'm sorry I assumed. I'll pick my favorite Mario character, Waluigi.
Easily.
Wah, wah. Yeah, that's definitely the easiest one. We'll go with that.
Let's do the Mushroom Cup.
And it has Baby Park on it.
So I just throw items?
Yeah, so we will switch in game. But so here's the thing. So note, you're right. If you ever get to the point where you're driving and you don't want to drive anymore,
Yeah.
we will both hit these at the same time. And if we do that, then we'll both switch together, and I'll be back to driving.
Okay, so we'll just do like a 3, 2, 1.
Yeah.
Switch noise.
It's a very satisfying noise. So I'll just worry about driving.
Finally, a game for switches.
You gotta press A, bud. Bum, bum, ba, ba, da, bum, ba, ba, ba,
I wonder how
da,
Mario
bum.
feels about this.
Waluigi, he's more like there you go. Look at that. Well, Waluigi is like sort of he's like a glitch, you know. He's not supposed to be in the game, but he is.
Yeah, which makes him
Awesome.
yeah, like the best Mario character. Let's see. Boom, I'm just gonna keep throwing things.
If she ever cheers, it means you got him. Oh crap! I shouldn't have got that one. We're gonna switch in a second.
Does it switch? Oh, well, I'll just drive
Okay.
a little bit, I guess.
Here, 1, 2, 3, switch. 1, 2, 3, switch. All right, now, all right, switch again. 1, 2, 3, switch. Beautiful. We're doing it.
All
Look at
right.
that teamwork.
Yeah, we got it. All right. So this is Common Cast, and we're all about
Solidarity.
teamwork. Yeah. Practice with video games with friends.
Honestly, there is some sort of practice you can do by being good at video games with friends. I believe that.
Yeah.
And not like
That's why we're here.
it's what we joke about. We joke about praxis a lot, but like it is like don't let it dominate your praxis. Don't be like, I stream Twitch 14 hours a day. That's obviously praxis. But yeah, bonding with your friends is very important. Oh crap.
Oh, what was that?
So all the characters have specials. That's the Birdo special. Birdo has an egg and they hit you and a bunch of items pop out of it. It's not great.
I was waiting until the banana would be bigger. I don't know if it works that way.
It doesn't work that way. Oh, we're gonna switch. Oh, we're gonna have.
So when do you know that that's upcoming?
When you hit, there's two question mark blocks, and when I hit them, sometimes I hit them when I'm sliding. We get two. So like you get a thing and I get a thing. But
This
we're gonna.
is totally Little Brother mode. I love it.
Yeah, it is. When you're playing with all yourself with two people, it automatically switches. I forgot about that. All right. So nice. We're doing pretty well. This is going to be pretty easy. We'll have to challenge ourselves a little bit more after this one. But yeah, okay. So while you're backseat driving, did you have anything that you wanted to talk about today here on Comicast?
Yeah. Elizabeth Warren isn't Bernie Sanders.
That's a good thesis statement to start out, honestly.
Yeah, actually, while I throw boxes, I wanted to just read the beginning of an article from Business Insider, if you don't mind. Capitalist Elizabeth Warren has the right antidote to socialism and Trumpism.
Fuck yeah. Awesome. I am so down. Build that wall, queen.
As a bourbon Democrat, I'm pretty sure Danklin's all about this.
Oh yeah. Reincarnation of Grover Cleveland right here.
Elizabeth Warren.
In a way, yeah. Like I joke about like the Grover Cleveland stuff, but I do know far more about Grover Cleveland than anyone should.
You know far more about Grover Cleveland than I do, that's for sure.
Well, I just
think of like Garfield, and I know that that's not right.
Garfield was cool because no one knows how bad he would have been because he died.
Garfield?
James Garfield got shot.
Oh, James Garfield. I was talking about the fucking cat. Which wasn't even the right president. Oh my god. Yeah, let me read more of this here. So Senator Sebiber recent remark that she is capitalist to my bones is being treated as some kind of news, even though it is consistent with the policies and rhetoric the liberal Massachusetts senator has espoused for her entire career.
No, key word there is liberal.
Yes. Warren's major policy project is to make markets work right for regular people. So this is a quote from her. I'll scroll down to it. It says, "I love markets. I believe in markets. Good. Warren's choice to own her capitalism is good news for the Democratic Party and for capitalism." So this is a Business Insider article. But I think that this is some of the stuff that we might want to be super ready for coming, into the
within the next 6 months.
Yeah, absolutely. Because as things are going to heat up, and an exploratory committee means that Warren might run. But even, not just Warren, I think just all progressives in general, there's going to be, an onslaught of this. Like, for example, I'll pull another quote from this article. "As a result, there is now a fashion for people on the left to call themselves socialist. Often, while implicitly or
this
explicitly
strange phenomenon that has never occurred before,
supporting many of the markets with guardrails policy Warren herself favors. It's like, checkmate. You're not really socialists. America is going to be capitalist, so we had to make capitalism work." What the big quote here in the article. But yeah, I think a lot of it. I think a lot of what this is really saying is something that we're going to see a lot of this time around, because this time it's not the race isn't full with the same stuffy neoliberals as last time
I can't even remember who ran last year. Oh, well, no, I can. Now that I sit down and think about it, it was Hill Dog, Byrne, our Grandpa Bernie, Lincoln Chafee, also known as Harry Dildo Man. I don't. his hair did not look pleasant. I'll tell you that. Sorry, Lincoln.
That's okay. You just care about hair when it comes to politics, don't you, Danklin? I heard my dad for the longest time would, like, every election season growing up, say this stupid thing where he'd be like, they did like a study that's like the presidents who won elections were always the presidents that Americans considered had the best hair. Like, without fail. I don't know how true that is.
Well, that's not true automatically, because for however silly and boring Hillary's hair is, it's better than Trump.
yeah, exactly. I'm like, all right, the hair rule, definitely not a thing. Oh, wow, I just saved our butts.
You did.
From a slow spinning shell. But yeah, I guess that's just like a thing that like my parents always like threw around as if it was like legitimately true. But...
Well, there are some indicators for a president. Like, for one of the ones that I love is the Halloween mask one. Whoever sells more Halloween masks the Halloween before Election Day usually wins.
I mean, that makes sense, though.
Yeah.
Welcome to America. We vote with our dollar.
Well, yeah, it just like it makes sense. Like the one that's on everyone's mind, Like, and I don't have to look it up to tell you that Trump guaranteed sold more Halloween masks than Hillary Clinton.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, we're doing great. There's no way we can possibly lose this.
This is baby stuff.
Silly babies. It's almost like we're playing on a really easy difficulty.
It's almost like babies are dumb.
Freaking babies. This is the hardest track. But it's not that
hard. Yeah.
Well,
So I wonder, I mean, from here on out, though, how do you indicate who wins a primary? Because no one's ever cared about primaries until now, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I totally ruined us on
That's
that
okay.
one. Yeah. I mean, you know,
This we got this, so we're good. The primary game is pretty much just sort of it's kind of up in the air at this point. I really feel as though I just did that wrong. Are you just honking your horn? Please stop.
Sorry.
Please clap. Good old Jeb. Well, like, first of all, like I need to emphasize that like Trump really took the political game of presidential election and kind of just threw it out the window. So anything that like magazines are telling you, like maybe polling data is kind of good, just don't listen to it. Like nothing means anything anymore. Once Trump won, it was just kind of like every wonk kid at Georgetown University was like that was probably who hated Trump even more than like most people, because they were upset that they couldn't be wonky anymore. Because
Yeah, well, things don't make sense.
yeah, it's just like Trump disproved the West Wing in just one day.
I still haven't seen the show, so.
Well, there's like we're talking. It's kind of good because in a way, it's invited more material analysis of the presidential and people are need to be more honest about like what happens in a. That's not a real one. What happens in a presidential
I keep honking
election?
because you're holding onto that shell and I want to throw it.
It's okay. Do you want to switch and do it right now? We got a straight.
I got a banana. We're good.
Well, now we can actually just talk about things more material. Like we can stop like worrying about electability or what school you went to or how good you look on Facebook video or whatever, because we know that doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah, no, it doesn't. Well, I think that's like the shattering of like. I think one thing that like people forget is that like Trump happened not because America is full of whatever terrible things in our subconscious. And that's true. I mean, we do have kind of this weird. America's weird. I live in a weird place, but I don't.
It's a bastardization of what a country should look like.
Yeah, but on the same token, like Trump came about because of material conditions, and anyone who's trying to tell you otherwise is trying to sell you something. Yeah.
Sounds like someone wants to sell me something.
Yeah. Because I mean, it's just it's obvious that like the material conditions of America right now, it's the fuck you guys. Like they wanted to say fuck you to all of the Georgetown wonks.
Yeah. There are a lot of people out there in like West Virginia and Ohio who are like do not care.
Yeah, they don't give a shit, and if they think Trump is winning, fine. They're all about it. They're not, so it's like you get your libidinal stimulation from something else. Mm-hmm. It's spectacle, is what it is. But it's spectacle that's based in a very real material condition. Let's do a battle.
Want to do a battle? Oh yeah, okay, let's do it.
Let's do the battle. But we went over all of this in 2016, really. I think what's going to be crazy coming up now is going to be the way that...
First of all, which battle do you want to do?
Let's do Shine Thief.
All right.
It's going to be the way that Democrats try to spin... Oh, am I? Yeah, there I am. Oh, I think we have to be different people. That's all right. I'll actually play the game a little bit.
Yeah.
I think it's the way that Democrats are going to try to spin, just, like, why not just vote for this person? This person's fine. They're this, they've got this list of characteristics that should be considered progressive and...
Well, yeah, now the thing is that if you're a left-leaning person who still believes in electoralism, like us cucks over here, you have an ace in the hole now, and that's pipe pause is fine. You have an ace in the hole now is that didn't work. And you can, so that's the thing is you can just look at that and like, hey, remember when we did that and it lost? Last year?
It's been 3 years. 3 years. Oh, we're against each other. No one else. Is there not like a you can't just like?
You can't do AI, unfortunately.
Oh really? Oh, that's a
Yeah.
bummer.
Do you have the shine?
Maybe.
I'm gonna get the shine from you. This shine has been possession in these babies for too long.
I've got 36 seconds to make it.
Got 25 seconds to remember the name. I remember, like, do you remember ever being in, like, high school and people liking that song?
Yeah, I do.
I love, like, that. The best part about that song is that people think it's good. Oh!
Damn it. I don't think I'm ever going to get it back.
You got it back the first time.
Oh, that was like a Bowser shell. How did I do that, though?
This is 10% luck, 20% skill, 15% concentrated power of Trill, 5% pleasure, 15% cocaine.
15%.
I don't know. I don't think the percentages add up to 100.
I bet you they do. I bet you they thought about that. Marketing team thinks about everything.
Fort Minor's like, hey guys,
All right.
suck it,
I cannot do anything competitive, and
and scream at the same time.
yeah, keep up with it. I don't have a competitive male bone in my body. It's limp.
Would you like to do Bomb on Blast? Or-
You're just like, yeah, you're just still gonna do it.
Oh yeah, I don't care. I have my battle team is Flying Koopa and Diddy.
I was gonna say we go back to racing.
Oh yeah, okay, we'll do this
Yeah.
one. This one's
All right.
more fun because it's literally everything is bombs.
Oh, yeah, I'm about that.
Yeah, so there's not a lot of thought process that goes into it. You're just
All right.
kind of
Cool.
hucking bombs and
Cool.
dropping bombs. You really like just having Peach around, don't you?
I do.
First Waluigi, I missed every
Well, Peach
single
is
one.
usually my I guess you would say
My
like
main.
yeah so, like
What?
but in Mario Kart.
Oh, I feel
Um,
you.
In Mario Kart 7, or is that the newest one? I can't remember what it is. The one on the Switch. Oh, yeah, I did not do that well. We should do Kirby Air Ride on.
Oh yeah, I'd love to do Curie. I've never played it, but I've heard it's tons of fun.
It's awesome.
See, isn't this like, look at this mode? It just bombs. That's all it is.
Yeah, I'm all about this. Boop, 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 boop.
Just bombs everywhere. You can stack up to 5 too. So you have this huge tower of bombs. Oh, you're catching on. I keep trying to use my usual tricks on you.
I'm not catching on to anything. I just know you're behind
You're just
me.
like oh, it's because you're a little faster car. There you go. Enjoy that. Boom.
Oh wait, does the stars mean you have damage or that I'm taking damage?
The stars are good for me. I want 3 stars.
Okay, well then I'm not doing so hot. News. Official victory team.
2-0. All right, back to racing.
Yeah.
All right, and also as we go back to racing, we'll head back to Elizabeth Warren.
Yeah.
So, what's her planks? What is she coming out with? Because here's the thing: if you're average progressive viewer, and you're looking for something good to vote for in a politician, Elizabeth Warren sounds great on paper, a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, okay. So like, the Accountable Capitalism Act or whatever.
I think who to pick. Okay. And yeah,
There we go.
beautiful.
So it's like, you know, there people on the like listed companies have to like have a certain amount of their board elected, which is good. That's worker power. We want
honestly,
that.
yeah, like something like that you'd think would be at least vaguely good. Oh, I gotta drive. Something.
Well, I'll get to that. You keep going.
Well, no, that's something that I personally like. In the terms of perfect society, maybe not, but I think like lifetime achievement, that's pretty good. Like having worker boards, no capital owner on a board, that just sounds like a really good idea.
Yeah, except for this is only like 1/3 of boards, and
Yeah.
you know that they're gonna find a way to snuff them out. And,
Yeah.
I mean, but that's the thing. Because here's the thing: Warren doesn't believe in fundamentally changing capitalism.
No.
She believes that we can just edit capitalism a little bit, and it'll be okay.
I should have seen that coming. Control X, basically.
Yeah.
Maybe she just wants to kind of switch things around, shuffle the cards a little bit, see if there's anything that we can. See if there's anything that we can pull together and save capitalism. She does like
Yeah.
wants to save capitalism.
Well, and I think that that's the thing too. Like, I feel like at this time around, there's a lot of people who are going to be called progressives running, but maybe it's just because all of us have come out disenfranchised. Oh, I guess you can go up on the bridge.
Oh, you can. It's hard though to stay on. If you fall off, it's not good. Want to try it next round?
Yeah. Here, ready? 3, 2, 1, switch. All right. Does drifting work? Like, oh my gosh.
Yeah,
Normal?
drifting is the triggers.
Okay. Whoa.
GameCube trigger. You know.
Wow, I'm doing amazing.
No, it's just when you get hit by a car, that's what happens. All right. Dad, what's the road? No, kids, I'm gonna tell you about capitalism.
Yeah. So you talked about like Kamala Harris.
Oh yeah, well she's another one. Once we get done with Miss Warren, we'll get to Kamala. But like, there's a certain.
Oh my God!
That's exactly what I said. That's what I said would happen. Go! We gotta win. Just
We've
race.
gotta. Do we?
Yeah, we do gotta win. If we don't win, then Russia wins.
I thought. Never mind. I thought this was like all like a Russian op.
Oh.
I wonder if they're gonna pull that this year.
Oh yeah, the Russians. Well, they
Yeah.
already tried to like, they tried to kind of like, they were like kind of preemptively like, they were poisoning the well basically before the midterms. They were like, oh hey, looks like the Russians are meddling again, and then the Democrats won a bunch of seats. They're like, oh, looks like they got foiled this time. Here's the thing. Well, when it comes to like Russia getting here, I do not doubt the existence of like a secret Russian op to influence the American election. Do I think they had any bearing on the outcome whatsoever? No.
Yeah.
I just think it's a bunch of guys in a room. They're like, all right, you guys, it's like 8 guys in like balaclavas who are like, you need to disrupt the American election. And they're like, okay. They make some fake Facebook profiles. They're like, hey.
I mean, here's the thing though. One thing is you can't underestimate the substantial mind rot of like boomer Americans and just like the ability to just eat up garbage.
Oh yeah.
Like my grandma like literally like thought like that picture of Trump in the boat like grabbing the child or whatever.
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
It's like if Trump's so bad, why is he like saving people from the hurricane? Like
Why is he pelting them with paper towel rolls? Did you see that? He was like t-shirt tossing, like paper towel rolls to the people of Puerto Rico. Oh my God! I gotta drive again. I forgot to drive. Shut up and drive. Oh, who is that? Is that Katy Perry?
That's Donkey Kong.
Really?
That's Bowser and Diddy.
No, I meant the song you were singing.
No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, you got me. Well, let's think. So I made the unfortunate choice of going to the Mueller rally, my local Mueller rally, after I can't even remember what happened. I was just like, maybe I can like get some like noise going. Like maybe I could like oh wow. But it was mostly boomers, people with signs, and people who were like, oh my God, the speeches were just so bad. People were just like, you know what? They're like, Donald Trump, he's really mucking up American democracy. He's really making a joke out of it. You know what? Ronald Reagan, I disliked his politics, but he was a good man. And I was like...
Oh, the Reagan was a good man thing is one of my favorite...
Boomerism.
Yeah. It's just, like, never mind, like, objectively... Okay, so... I'm going to talk about my political science teacher probably way too much on this show. So my freshman year political science teacher, Poli-Sci 101. I'm a little late to the game with school. I studied at first to be a worship pastor.
Oh, that's a story for another time.
Yeah. I'm so ADD about this, but so anyway, I'm late to school for reasons, but so Poli-Sci 101 teacher actually, like, no joke, just straight-faced, like, told an entire class, like, Reagan was good because he reduced the deficit.
Yeah,
and I just, like...
we talked about that in the first episode.
Did we? Okay.
Yeah.
So I brought this up before.
But it's important to bring up again in case no one watches the first episode.
No one's going to.
The audio's bad. But, you have to, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, but the thing is, like, all I did was just like, no, he didn't. And then she's like, well, I mean, no, he did. He definitely did. And I was like, we could look it up. Nothing. Silence. Just moved right on. Like,
I love that. Just like, you're like, nope.
And the thing is, like, people laughed as if I was, like, an idiot. And that's the scary thing.
Yeah. He did, like, once again, we have to say, it's good to say it again. Reagan did not reduce the deficit. In fact, he increased it. Very much so.
Yeah, like tripled it in the first year of his presidency.
And part of that, keep in mind, part of the reason he tripled it is because he severely reduced the revenue. He just did like, here's the thing, marginal tax rates were up in the 70s and 80s. Does that sound familiar? Modern America. And he dropped them down to the 20s. That's insane. That's a huge gap.
Not only the marginal tax rates, but military spending.
Yeah, no.
And that's the thing. That's another thing about Warren, really quickly. She's super hawkish.
Oh my God, massive. Like that. Just like that's the thing is like everyone like, but she like, I think I recall her being like, oh yeah, we can't have Trump because he's gonna be a hot button on the nuclear, and then it turns out that she will also be that.
Yeah. Trump hasn't, like, gotten us into a major war yet.
Honestly,
I'm actually surprised by that.
So, recently he put out a tweet, and it's the best tweet he's ever put out, because he's like, we're moving out of Syria, and we're supporting the Kurds. And I was like, dude. Comrade Donnie. Welcome to the revolution.
I'm just so ideologically confused these days.
Well, because here's the thing, that was like, the good news, like, the good thing about Trump is that he's just so, like, misinformed. He's gonna stumble into a good decision every once in a while.
Yeah. Okay, but here's the thing. Like, you said something about, like, that will always be reversed by the people who are, like, whispering into his ear, like, the fucking...
Oh, yeah, John Bolton will know. Yeah. John Bolton will have a...
It's like the second Lord of the Rings movie, but that
Cream
guy
of Work.
sucks.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like, it's not like the good king being corrupted by...
It's an already... He was already like that before Wormtongue found him.
Yeah, exactly.
And he just is so like that, just with influences from the evil side.
Well, it's like Wormtongue had always been there.
Yeah.
This wasn't an anomaly. Like,
oh, yeah. And then, like, somebody's like, who is... Like, I love that scene where you could just write that whole scene with Trump being, like, old Theoden and being like, oh, my God, this table just wanted to move directly in their way, and that banana's huge. Want to go down to the secret path? Whee!
Yeah. Oh, I love secret paths in this game. Usually because they're not very fast.
Woo! Yeah, it's not that fast. We are in 50cc. Oh, but yeah, so Elizabeth Warren is also King Theoden. That's the point to make here. And also, fun fact, King Theoden is a hawk.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, kind of on a tangent. We'll get back to, that's not good.
The foreign policy of Middle-earth.
One of the reasons why Tolkien actually hated a lot of the adaptations to his work is because he was a kind of a dove, and he was like, hey, I don't like war. And there are a lot of, like, I love the Lord of the Rings movies, but they're like, they're all about like the war.
Yeah.
And
well, they're all about like war being glorious.
And he was all about, because he lived through World War I, which is equivocally the war where everyone was like, why did we do that? And so...
Can I, like, lean to help you drive?
Do you want to, or no?
No, I guess I can. Like, I'm just testing it out. Because, like, if you take a turn, I can go, like, either way.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Makes you feel more involved, huh?
Yeah.
Wait,
I just like to watch. But, yeah. I just, like, I don't know.
Well, okay, here's the thing about, okay, well, back to, now let's get back on topic with Elizabeth Warren. When it comes to her electability, it should be kind of a moot point that she's not very electable, or not very, like, if you're all about likability, the whole, like, Native American DNA stunt at the beginning of the year, or the beginning of, like, after the midterm was, like, one of the dumbest things I've ever seen.
Well, it just shows that, like, anything that happens, she's just gonna, like, melt, you know? Like, people will criticize her, and she'll just go and take it at face value. Unless that, like, changes, like, you know, like, dear God, Trump's going to, like, eat her for breakfast, you know?
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Because she'll get distracted, and she'll be like, nuh-uh, you know?
Well,
and
actually...
you can't do that.
No, yeah, 100%. Like, Trump, like, he feeds, like, one of the reasons he was able to kind of, like, he appealed to that sort of, like, silliness that people looked at. Like, well, if you're an average person looking at, like, the presidential debates, you don't really, like, care when they get into, like, fiscal policy. And here's the, okay, fun fact, you shouldn't care because it's all bull crap anyway. Like, when they get into, like, the necessary parts of fiscal policy, you can just, like, see, like people with Georgetown degrees being like, people being like, this is where, like, the meat of the debate is. There is no meat of the debate. It's just about looking cool and making epic owns on your opponent.
Yeah, I mean, that's totally what it was last time around.
Yeah,
at least in the RNC. You know what's funny is I just wonder if somebody's going to primary Trump.
Oh, God. Like, that would be, like...
You know what? That would actually be an amazing strategy for the left. To take advantage, like the far left, like to take advantage of the fact that, like, well, you know, not, but the Bernie Sanders left. We'll say it that way.
Okay.
Just so people don't jump down my throat. Although you should care at least a little bit about this election. You know.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. So pretty much what we do is we get everyone to go, all the liberals to go vote in the Republican primary, just to get rid of Trump. Well, and then it's literally just like, you know, 20-somethings left to vote in the...
Oh, yeah, and then it's all Bernie.
Yeah, it's all Bernie people left in the DNC.
Well, my worry is this.
And then we transfer parties, and it stays that way.
Oh, dear.
I'm just kidding.
Never work. Well, I mean, considering that the Democrats were started by a bunch of slave owners, fun fact, kids, we're never going to get control of the party. We want to. We want like a Trumpist-esque hijacking here. And, like, here's the thing. You should, anytime that, like, the mainstream media is like, oh, this Democrat is, like, Trumpian in their tactics, you should absolutely embrace that and own it, because that is awesome.
Speaking of Trump people in the Democratic Party, Ojeda is a...
I don't... Oh, okay, go ahead. I don't mean in terms of politics. I mean in terms of, like, people, like, AOC, people are... Oh, my freaking God! At least we're in first. In turn-in standing. That was a beautiful one. Who did that to me?
That was me. I threw the banana.
Oh, well, terrible. Well, people are looking at AOC. It's like, she attacks the media. She attacks her fellow Democrats. Sounds like Donald Trump. Like, concerned face.
Yeah, yeah. But, I mean, I'm talking about somebody who literally voted for Trump.
Oh, yeah, okay. Well,
yeah.
In terms of politics, yeah, there are, like
Ojeda. Yeah.
What an interesting guy.
Yeah, I mean, he does have his moments where he's like, the dirt poor will eat the filthy rich on, like, national TV, and you're like, yeah, also, you can't swing it. He's not, like, Ojeda just needs to, like, get his ass chewed in this primary and, like, realize that democratic politics don't work and then become a revolutionary socialist. And then we'll like him. You know what I mean?
but Ojeda is stuck in that world where he's like, you know, he's just like, you know what? He's honestly like completely opposite, like polar opposite of Warren. Warren's like this wonky former Rockefeller Republican type. She used to be a Republican, by the way.
Oh yeah.
Who went to like all these nice universities. Did she go to Harvard? I don't know where she went.
I think she went to Harvard.
Yeah, some Ivy League school. And she's just like, we're gonna save capitalism, and then he's also like, we're gonna save capitalism, but with unions.
Yeah.
And he's just like, they have their hearts in the right place, but they're corrupted by.
The thing is, like, Ojeda's heart is like in this like place of like almost like this like old socialist kind of like, you know, like
Kentucky, come all ye coal miners kind of thing.
Yeah, and the thing is like, well, okay, so here's what's interesting to me about that is that I think, honestly, what happens in the brain of Ojeda is that he's been in such a Republican district, and that like all of like the like bullshit about like Democrats being socialists is like all he's heard his entire life. So when he's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be a Democrat, he was just like, yeah, I'm gonna be a socialist. Like to him, like all that propaganda, like just kind of,
it all came together.
Yeah, you know.
I feel him. Like, I do thought it was hilarious that as soon as he lost his race, he's like, I'm now running for president.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's not a sore loser move at all.
It's just so weird, though, that, like, I mean, okay, so, like, something's wrong with, like, the way that this country works. And, like, talking about, like, the work it'll take to, like, build socialism, like, not just electoral work, but, like, you know, like, the like, legitimately revolutionary work of building socialism. You gotta understand how far away from that we are in this country.
That's why
when you see Ojeda losing in a district like that.
Yeah, well, that's kind of the reason when people poo-poo electoralism, it's just like, oh my freaking god! That's exactly what I say. Yeah, man, this is gonna be a little bit harder of a
You ruined my dress.
Oh my god!
This is pretty standard fare for Mario Kart. You want to switch so you can talk on that?
Oh, well, what was it? Okay, well, people like poo-poo electoralism. They're like, oh yeah, that's nowhere. It's bourgeois elections. Like, okay, yeah, I feel you. Like, you're not gonna be. I'm not like. There is some like, something to be said about like if it begins and ends with like posting about people you're gonna vote for on Twitter, then like maybe you should be a little bit more active in other things. But at the same time, it's just like I can't think of like building like some sort of socialist coalition or just like class consciousness is at one of the lowest points in history. Actually, it's slightly getting better. It was like
it is
towards like 90s 2000s. It was probably at its lowest point.
Yeah, but you gotta still consider that like the working class is, you know, still so like far out of touch with each other that like, you know,
of course they are.
Like I mean, think about it. Okay, so the thing with Ojeda's race in particular, right, is that here's this guy running that like all of these people apparently know him personally, right? Because he grew up in the area, and he's worked with these people. He knows them. They know that he's got their backs, right? Mm-hmm. And yet they still choose to go for the Republican who's from out of the country. Or not out of the country, sorry.
Out of the state. Yeah.
Yeah.
She's a carpetbagger, basically.
Yeah, she's a carpetbagger. And so, like, she comes in, she lives completely separate lives from all of these people. She didn't, you know, she's not involved with these people's well-being. And she doesn't give a shit about their health or their safety or even their jobs. And the thing is, but they still eat it up. They're still eating from that trough, you know? To them, it's still, like, you know, socialism is that scary that you will vote for somebody who's, like, obviously bad for you. Like, obviously out of your interests.
Yeah, I mean, like, not
somebody who outright hates you, probably.
Yeah, well, it's just a hard thing. It's, like, even, like, the language of, like, things that will support them, like, hey, union power and higher wages, guaranteed health care, like all stuff that people in West Virginia need. Like, oh god,
Yeah.
I can't think of a state like more devastated by like the end of the manufacturing economy than like West Virginia and Ohio and the Rust Belt basically, and the mine and all those miners in like Kentucky and all that. Who, I don't know. At the end of the day, like they're ultimately just kind of dealing with an economy that's falling apart in front of their eyes.
Yeah. Well, and like, you know, that's why, like, I mean, I know it sounds silly, but like the strategy, obviously, that Republicans have thought of in depth at this point is like the stuff that my grandma will say about, like, you know, like, well, all these kids complaining about things, they're flipping burgers, and it's like, it's not kids flipping burgers anymore, but we've managed to convince people that it's like those aren't the hardworking people, when it's like now everybody has to take the burger jobs because there's not even the mining jobs anymore.
Yeah.
You know, and that was one of the things that Trump did that did, like, catch people's attention. Whether or not he did anything good for those people, he talked about it.
Yeah.
Right? But people are still afraid of a socialist. And they're still afraid of, you know, it's totally because the Democrats gave up on people. But that pivot, that idea of, like, you know, people are afraid of each other, you know?
Yeah.
Like, the working class, there's no solidarity between, like, plumbers and burger makers. And there should be.
Yeah. That, like, building that sort of coalition of people being like, hey, did you know those burger flippers you make fun of are your friends? That bus driver, even if they run you over, are your friends.
Where are my fellow bus drivers at?
Who are my fellow bus drivers?
I work at, like, I work with, like, I have, like, 4 coworkers.
Yeah.
I think it'd be super funny to unionize my workplace.
You could,
Just
yeah,
because
you could.
we should. I mean,
You should always, yeah.
even if there's not a need, just, like, I could at least get 3 out of 4 people on board, for sure, so.
Well, that's the question I always have. Oh wow, I wasn't really even watching the road. Watch the road, kids, when you drive. Building that, like, cross coalition, like, the best thing you can do is like, oh yeah, well, if I don't want to do electoralism, what I want to do, I'm like, try to unionize your workplace. That's probably the best move you could possibly do.
Always talk about work at work.
Yeah. Talk about how much you make. It's not taboo. They just want you to think it's taboo. It's just talk about how much you make. And
Yeah.
like,
Actually, I did that when I was working another job. I was working at a Boys and Girls Club. No, it's a you know, nobody's gonna know where.
okay, gotcha.
It's an organization that's all over the United States, so, you know, that's fine. You can generally put me anywhere there's a Boys and Girls Club in the U.S., right?
Yeah.
But yeah, so no, I worked at a Boys and Girls Club, right? And we were getting paid shit. And it's a hard job. It is. It's a very difficult job. Because especially where I worked, you have to be there in the morning, and then you have to be there after school. So you're already working a split shift, right? There's kids who are there all day, and they're also there at school all day. And, you know, they just bring in, like, underprepared teenagers for a job that honestly should be taken pretty seriously.
Yeah, childcare.
Yeah. I mean, you know.
Which, I mean, like, considering the LA teachers strike and all that good stuff, like, childcare in this country is in a destructive state.
Yeah, well, because all of these people are, I mean, even, like, the best childcare option that's usually available, like these nonprofits, workers are incredibly underpaid. One thing we found is that, especially women in the workplace, well, a lot of them were being paid, like, 25 cents less than some people at certain spots.
Which, I mean, like, when you phrase it like that, that's so easily people be like, oh, that doesn't seem like a lot. It is a lot when you factor in how many hours you work per week, and, like, it just isn't, and it just isn't fair anyway. Even on a level of, like, oh, even if it's not that much, you know, like, that's the weirdest take I've seen. It's like, oh, the wage gap isn't actually 77 to 100, it's 93 to 100. I'm like, so let's fix that gap.
Yeah. Well, and here's, like, so, like, the thing is, like, not only that, like, different people at different things being paid differently for, like, harder work, by the way, at a different location. There was a location that they got paid less than the school people, and they definitely have a harder time because they have some of the harder kids because they're in a neighborhood where there's just no need.
Well, just like, I think once again, like, people don't seem to understand one of the big things about strikes and teachers. Class size is a big one. Any kid is hard.
I literally was left with, like, 50 kids and just myself. Like, 50 second graders and just me in a room. And that's just something they have to do because they're understaffed, because they don't want to pay more people. And the staff there is amazing. Like, the people there care about the kids, but they totally, understaff it. And all of the, like, it's not a good position to be in. Not only that, though, because of that, like, they would, not do breaks. So people wouldn't take their breaks, even though we were working 6-hour shifts in the summer.
Yeah.
Which is illegal. It's all right. There's 50 states, but it's illegal in the state, right?
Yeah.
So I just, like being in that workplace, like talking about these things, sometimes you got people to be like, oh wow, that is kind of shitty. And I realize how shitty this position is in, and that what I do, I deserve more. But sometimes I talk to people and they just be like, well, I love the kids.
Yeah, they really, they exploit that so much.
They do. They totally do. Are you okay with me saying that whole thing?
Yeah.
Where I was? Okay, cool. Yeah, as long as you're all right with that.
All right, with what?
Oh, just locations and stuff.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, cool.
We don't know. We may not be there anymore.
Yeah, no, actually, we're not. But yeah, just like, I don't know. And you've worked in education.
Yeah. It's just the thing is, like, one of the things that, like, teacher strikes and other places they emphasize is, like, class size and ratio to teacher, and that's, like, a really important part that people, like, always want to pretend like to ignore. Like, oh yeah, it's all about pay, isn't it? Well, it's like, it's also about, like, doing a reasonable amount of work. There's only so much you can do with how many kids you have. If you're getting up to the upwards, like, one of the reasons, like, the Los Angeles teachers are striking, they're saying things like, oh yeah, 40 to 50 kids per class, and this is like high school algebra.
If you've ever tried to manage 40 to 50 children or teenagers, I've worked with teenagers too, you don't. It's not something you do and maintain a healthy relationship with the people that you're
that's the thing is, like,
or working with.
Well, here's the thing is, like, and then it changes the tactics of the classroom or the care space or whatever is going, because all of a sudden it's all about adopting more authoritarian tactics. It's all about adopting tactics that are better at keeping lots of people in line very easily with minimal effort.
Yeah.
And that's the problem, is that it's all about it's just a little it's a self-fulfilling prophecy that, like, you want to, like, in order to do a proper education or proper childcare, you need more attention per kid, you need more chance for development, you need more resources per kid. But if you start stuffing classrooms and care centers full of 50 kids to an adult, it's just not going to happen, and they're going to have to start adapting to, or management is going to get upset that kids are wily, because of course I fell, because kids are wily because there's so many kids and they know they can. Kids don't need that, and people just act like childcare is this easy. It's partially because, like, let's be honest, it's because it's a woman's job that people.
Yeah. Well, people think it's a lot easier than. That's the only reason that work is so devalued. Why, why organizations can get away with such low pay for childcare workers, or education. Every teacher I know is, like, always been underpaid or with large classroom sizes. Like, most of my life, it's,
Yeah, when you're an American kid and you go through the system, it doesn't even faze you. You're like, just like, that's how many kids are in the classroom. 30 kids? Okay. Like, you don't even think about it. But I guarantee you, it's on your teacher's mind. It's on the care center's mind. It's just like, just reduce the number of people in the classroom, and everything becomes easier.
Well, the thing is, like, one thing too that, like, I haven't really been keeping tabs on, but I'm pretty sure. I mean, Betsy DeVos is still education secretary, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, a lot of bad shit has happened and continues to happen, and I feel like there's been just a general push towards private education.
Oh, yeah. Well, anytime, like, that rhetoric check, I like doing these rhetoric checks. Anytime someone says to you, it gets out of the bureaucracy of the public education system, what they mean is, we can pay teachers less because they don't have unions.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's entirely why the push for charter schools is happening.
Well, and also because it allows like, you know, the rich to give a higher quality education to their children and you know, leave poor people without an education.
Yeah.
Because the side of that too is that, like, you know, like the wealthy don't care if other people don't get an education. They don't give a shit. Like, they're like, oh yeah, fine, whatever.
That's how it
you
should
flip my
be.
burgers. Yeah, exactly. That's what they think. Like, you know, or you fix my car. You don't need to know how to read. They don't care. They don't care if you know how to develop or yourself or, like, you know, have achievements or understand the world around you. They don't want you to. And that's, you know, with charter schools, that's easier to accomplish because you can make sure that the quality for everyone else is incredibly low. Well, people who can afford it can still maintain, you know, a higher standard of education for themselves.
Yeah. It's all planned, and not in like some conspirational sense. It's all just like people have a worldview, they assert it onto the world, and when they have capital, when they have power, they can influence it.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, this is not too absurd if you think about this has happened already with colleges. I think we've got like 15 minutes left of a good size.
All right, let's move on. Let's do it 100.
Yeah. I'll be Birdo. She's the wordo.
Is Birdo now identifies as a woman, right?
Well, Birdo has always. That's what it says in the original manual.
Birdo is...
Yeah, here, let me read it. I'll find it. Neat little tidbit.
Well, while we're on that...
So, the manual says he thinks he's a girl, so she's a girl.
Yeah.
That's misgendering Birdo.
Yeah, Birdo is trans.
Yeah. And, you know... Birdo has been depicted as a female ever since, so Nintendo came around. Good.
Nice. Oh, is there a Birdo? Oh, there is a Birdo car you can do sometimes, but we don't have it right now. So we'll go back to using the pink card.
The love wagon.
The love bug.
I really liked the third cup there.
Those tracks?
Yeah. But that's all right. We'll do this one for the last few minutes because
this is gonna take shorter.
Yeah, and we've got some, we got some good stuff to cover, real quick because we hit our groove.
Oh yeah, well, just the influence of capital on education and how much these people want to. 100 cc is not a joke. Well, the influence of capital on education. Well, like another rhetoric check here. Anytime like why aren't kids in school learning how to get jobs? Bad, awful, terrible. That's the culture in this country that went from going, maybe we should like teach people how to do the jobs that they're doing when they get there. Instead has become get as much as we can get in school, and then hopefully they come to it with work. And then don't hire people that don't have the skills for it. So that like workplaces are refusing to train people in skills for labor, which is just ridiculous. They're putting the onus on working class people to get the certs themselves and get the skills themselves.
Yeah.
Because they figured out it was something they could put the costs onto, like
it's efficient, and not in the efficient for everyone else way, but in the efficient management of capital. Sorry.
Do you want to roll? Do you want to throw that? You want to switch?
No, I'm all good.
All right. Finally, a game for Switches like us.
I'm okay with being the bottom.
The Nintendo Switch.
This is the Nintendo Super Wii, actually. Yeah, I just think education is always been a bit of a way to replicate the class structure.
Oh yeah, look up the Prussian school system. Is this schools should be organized more democratically anyway? It would be better if teachers and students saw their goals as students had mutual, and student and teachers were more like mentors than they are like dictators, basically. Like, it's not like, here's the thing, is like, you know how lectures are boring? It's because lectures are bad. Like, they're not an effective way to teach. If you ever had a college course or a high school course where your teacher just sat and talked to you and you didn't feel like you learned anything, congratulations. You're right. You're absolutely right. And they don't work for anyone, and we should stop pretending like they do. But yeah, they always try to, like, where they really try to pinpoint, there's the movement towards, like, a STEM world. Oh, I went on the grass, that wasn't good. The movement towards a STEM, the way they treat STEM is really telling, because they basically are like, they treat STEM, like, so science, technology, engineering, mathematics, as something that's, like, a really important and hard to teach. Like, the difficulty that they treat it with is they try to act like it's something very superior and it can only be taught in a certain way. When there's 1,000 different ways to teach mathematics, there's 1,000 different ways to learn it, and if you are bad at it, don't feel bad. It's because the system may have failed you in teaching mathematics.
Yeah, well, once I got older, I realized how cool math is. Like,
yeah.
Like, math is, like, you know, literally the closest thing we have to real-life wizardry. Like, you know?
Yeah.
You learn math and you understand the secrets of the universe, and then you can manipulate it to your will. That's, like, magic. That's what that is. Like, all those, like, books I read as a kid, you know? That's cool. It's like...
We're all gathered here to learn some magic.
Yeah. And the thing is, like, but you don't see it that way in school, because they almost make you want to think it's boring, I think. You know?
Yeah.
Like, you know, it's
I don't know if it's so. I don't know if I agree that they want to make it seem boring. They want to make it seem like there's a way to do it, and there's not any other way outside of it. And because here's the thing: is like Bill Gates and all those fun fellows, they really want to make STEM a cool thing, so tons of people go into it, and then all of a sudden, boom, they got their tech workforce, and they don't have to rely on people in anime shirts and cargo shorts anymore.
I guess that's true. Well, here's the thing, like...
Are you freaking kidding me?
That was barely... Coding. So I guess to take back my previous statement. Well, I guess it's just that school makes it boring.
No.
Yeah.
I see where you're coming from. You're not wrong at all.
But I guess to kind of contradict myself a little bit, I will say that, like, coding is something that's really pushed in schools that I've seen kind of a little bit lately.
Yeah.
And the reason, like, everyone's, like, pushing coding is like, oh, look, it's fun, and kids are getting computer stuff, and look, it's fun, they get to know stuff, and, like, you know, if people are coding, they could do cool stuff with it. And the reason they're trying, like, to sell that image is because with the way things are moving, if you can make coding a skill that's no longer, like, something you need a university degree for, then all of a sudden you have a workforce you don't have to pay as much to code.
Yeah.
And that's totally why they're trying to be like, look, kids, coding.
Look,
you know?
kids, learn to code. Ha ha ha.
Yeah, it's not because this movement is totally because it's, you know, and maybe this isn't conscious, but I feel like this is how capitalism kind of functions in a way in which, like, the way we do that naturally is for value extraction.
Yeah. Well, they just want so many people to be, they want enough people to be coders so that they don't have to, well, basically I'm only saying what you're gonna say. And it's just kind of sad. Because it could be, like, coding could be revolutionary. It could be really cool. You could use coding for 1,000 different things. But they're like, oh yeah, you know what coding's good for? Banking apps.
Yeah. Well, it's just another
Venmo.
way. Yeah. It's just another way to get cheaper labor. If coding is no longer a skill that people have to go to college for, then, you know, and everyone already knows it, then that's, you know, like, it's like when typing was taught to everybody. Not everybody learned typing because of, like, the good graces of our, like, education system being like, yeah, like, everyone should know how to use a computer or type. It was totally because you're going to need to use a computer in your job.
Yeah.
And that's why we did it.
And you do have to use a computer on your job. It was a coalition of insidious capitalists.
Well, but that's the thing. Nobody it's not insidious. And I keep saying they. I don't think that really works that way. Because it's like, you know, you can't really just, like, be like, it's them.
Yeah.
You know, it's really just the way a system operates. And if it's capitalism, we're all going to reproduce those structures when we function in capitalism.
It's all bad, guys. Just give up.
Honestly, though, like I guess like a last thing to touch on is like mental health and climate
That's a
change.
good mental health and climate change.
Like, dear God, I was like, there's a million articles on why millennials are so depressed. I think honestly, no one's ever had enough like hot take to do the hot take that is the hot take. We're depressed because we know that we don't have a future. Like, you are consciously consciously aware of the fact that the entire world is, you know, going to just be a hellhole by the time we're 50.
Yeah.
We don't get to retire. We don't get to have a nice future. You know? We know that. Consciously, we know that. We're told that all the time, and it's true.
The sad truth is, like, hey, if you are privileged, you might come out okay, and you'll have to watch the world burn.
Underground bunkers. But even then, I mean, how sad is it to spend all your life in an underground bunker? Well, the world, just the beautiful planet that we live on, just is reduced to ash and, like, you know, just living inside all the time. And, like, you know, I mean, the rich will be able to avoid it mostly, but even then, like, you can't want a world like that, right?
You know what? You know what the world's probably gonna be like. That's that movie Elysium.
I haven't seen it.
Oh, it's by the guy who did District 9.
Oh, I saw that.
But basically, it's this world where the rich,
Made me very sexually
basically, like, most of humanity lives on Earth, which is an urban wasteland. Yeah, Earth is an urban wasteland. Tons of waste and refuse everywhere. People are just trying to
clarify. That's a joke. I'm not sexually confused about aliens. I think that falls under the category of bestiality.
Oh,
It's a sin.
it's a sin, young man. But basically, like, the people, like, the rich live on, like, a moon thing outside of the world. And they pay, and they have perfect health care. They have, like, these, like, beds they can lie in. That was a scary tornado.
That was lame.
We're not in Kansas anymore.
You're right.
Oh,
We're
that's
in
not-
sand, sand,
Sand and more sand. Oh, we're gonna lose.
How we
Oh.
doing on this Grand Prix?
We're gonna lose. We're gonna lose. Luckily, oh no, we're gonna lose. So we lost. All because of that freaking tornado. Look at our times comparison. We did a massive gap. It's over. Well, that's a great place to end, everyone.
Yeah.
Give up.
Yeah.
Give up in Mario Kart. Ugh.
Third place doesn't get to go to the hyperspace bunker. Third place has to rot on Earth.
Third place is the best on Earth. People are gonna be blagging about that. You know, I got third in my Mario Kart Double Dash race. That means I'm the best on Earth. And then some guys got like seventh. It's gonna be like, yeah, you're still here.
The Elon Musk Mars colony.
Oh, will it be on? Oh, it's gonna be on Mars, isn't it?
Oh, I can't think of anywhere else.
The moon.
How about the sun?
Live on the sun.
Just like convince a bunch of very wealthy people that it's like, yep, we're going on a rocket to the sun.
There
You
you
know,
go.
you just have to like possess Elon Musk somehow, and then like literally convince all of these like people who have power to like be like, wow, you know, there's a space colony on the sun, and we get them all in a rocket, and we go press the button, and they go, and it was a revolution without ever having to actually do a revolution. There's only like 200 of them that we have to send, right?
Bill Gates, I've got a proposal. A modest proposal, if you will.
Anyway, folks,
This has been Common Cast. Thanks for sticking around.
have a schwanky day.
We're ending on a really dark note.